put this over here. Okay. Matthew, everyday audiophile, music enthusiast, reviewer occasionally, but today, audio guest. Let's open up this beer. So, I want to start things off. Today we're having the Shiner Tex Hex Bruja Brew. So, Shiner's master brewer retired maybe 5 years ago. Maybe it's been a little bit more. And since then, his son took over, and now we're getting beers that are just phenomenal. I mean, this IPA is brewed with cactus water, so it's a little bit different. If you don't like cactus water, this probably isn't the IPA for you, but it's got just a little hint of sweetness to it. It's so good. So good. What I want to talk about today, and this is going to be the very first in a series. I mentioned it in a previous video. I'm going to call it the, guest system series. GSS, GS2 maybe, kind of as a throwback to I2S. That's what I want to talk about. The very first system that I went to go listen to outside of my friend that's in the group that's really, really close. This is a high-end system, by the way. So I was in Dallas for work, and I had made plans with someone else in the group, and I was going to do something on their system instead, but here we are. He wasn't able to do it, so he dropped out. And Joey, the lead of this group, stepped up to the plate and kind of got me going with someone else that was in the North Dallas area. His name is Terry, and it's for sure so far the nicest system that I've been to. And the most expensive system. I'm sure it's not what he paid when you look at like the retail prices, but I'm going to go through it all. I have it all right here. And the magic me in post will put pictures up here while we're talking about it. Took pictures. I'll be sure to post them here, post them in the video, and post them online whenever I write the review. But let's get started. So we listened to both digital and vinyl, and for some reason I forgot to write down the cost of the DAC, but let's start with the turntable and then work our way forward towards the speakers. So for the turntable, Terry has I'm going to put this here, so I'm looking at the camera, Kodo Beat turntable. It's $50,000 retail. The tone arm is the Schroeder LT, which the LT stands for linear tracking. So it looks like a normal tone arm, but it moves on two axes, so it still tracks the grooves linearly, which I thought was bloody brilliant. The cartridge was the Lyra Atlas. On the electronic side, he is 100% CH Precision. Now, I'd known about them, but I'd never seen them prior to going to his house. And I gotta say, they look even better in person than they do in pictures. A little boring, but very, very professional looking. Okay, so CH Precision P1 Phono, that's $48,000 retail. The CH Precision L10 preamp is $76,000, just a paltry. The CH Precision M10, $104,000 retail. The speakers, he was running Stenheim 5 SEs, I do believe. Those retail one of the cheaper components here for $72,000. And then on the sub side, he had two dual rail R25s. Now, I couldn't remember how much the R25s cost, but the current top of the line, number 32s or 10s, so I'd just say 10 a piece if you're going to buy the modern version of it. So you're looking at someone that, if you take retail, I know he did not pay retail. I don't know how much he paid, but if you look at the retail value, this is well over $500,000 invested. So you don't spend that kind of money on a system unless you know exactly what you're after, and he did. When I sat down, Terry told me that his goal was to get something that was as fast as possible. He enjoyed listening to jazz and acoustics. A lot. There were some drum pieces that he played specifically as well that kind of highlighted what this system was built for. The Stenheim speakers are I guess, well known for how fast they are. You can the transients between, when you hit the drum and when it drops down, very, very fast. And then you back that up with CH precision, and they are, as you would imagine, all about the best measurements that you can get and achieving this ultimate speed in those transients. That's what I read whenever I hear the word fast. Oh, and his DAC was also CH precision. I don't remember. It was the 10 series. If they 10 series or 1 series. If they have the 10 series, it was the 10 series. You can look it up yourself. So it was, there were two things that stood out to me immediately as he started playing these tracks. The first one is, yes, it is indeed fast. Fast in that when you are playing drums, I'm going to set this down here. When you're playing drums and you're listening to someone play drums with their hands in person, and you're close enough to it, you can hear, oh, the sound from the left hand is coming from a little bit further away or a little bit different than the sound from the right hand. You can hear that that's not the same location. His speakers, he had them so well dialed in that you're closing your eyes and you're listening to these, performers playing on their drums, and you can pick out, oh, this is a single guy. These are the two hands, and they're about 2 feet apart in front of me. So that was a first for me. It's not something that I've ever tried to do at home, and it's something that I'm going to aspire to now. Additionally, the amount of space that his system created. So we listened to Freya Writing's Lost Without You, I think is the name of the track. Before joining the audio group, I had no idea what this was, but from what I know now, it's commonly recommended as an audiophile track. So go listen to it if you don't know. There is a decay in her voice between, her lyrics that she's singing, and on my system, it sounds like she decays into maybe 10, 15 feet away. It sounds like a pretty big room. My room is pretty small. It's only 10 feet across, 20 feet deep, 18 feet deep, so pretty small room. His room is bigger. It's deeper than mine. It is far wider than mine. But and that helps with the sense of scale in the room. But in these same notes of when Freya stops singing, you can hear that decay. It just sounds like the room goes for 100 feet back, like she's singing in a giant concert hall. That's really the sensation that I got listening to his speakers. The entire system. I guess there's three things. So space, how quick this is, hearing the drum, how quick that is. Last one was the bass. And I told the group whenever I gave the group the review, and I told Terry I have to tread lightly on the topic of bass. The bass that he had was very firm, but it was the very first time that I had heard bass that went deep without pounding you in the chest. And for those of you that you know what I'm talking about, when the bass hits deep, your chest is thumping because you can feel the speakers or the subwoofers loading the room with that bass. His system was the first time that didn't happen, and so I was left with a sense of like I was missing something because I'm so used to feeling that air pressure. But at the same time, it was kind of a sense of like, wow, this bass is so much cleaner than what I'm getting out of my system. I was just confused. It was very deep. It was very clean. When we were listening to upright bass or double bass for those in the know, uh, it was phenomenal. You could hear the bass. You could very easily tell when he was sliding his hand up and down the fretboard, or along the neck, I guess you should say, because they were playing up here. Sliding along the strings. All of that was really easy to tell with his system. And let me run down the track list that we played for those that just kind of are just curious. I open up Rune. He does use Rune. I guess I should go after that as well. He uses Rune for his digital side, Rune Nucleus Plus, and all of his source stuff ran through Shinyata Everest, which I didn't realize it was as big as it was. So it was a little bit of a surprise for me. 11 minutes, okay. Let me go to this playlist. Terry. Okay, so there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 tracks that he played for me before we switched over to vinyl. And they all targeted different aspects of his system that he was looking for that perfection, right? The Wandering Tattler by 5 Alarm, Brush Magic recorded live at Catalina 2015, Agua de Beber by Sophia Millman, spoken in another language. Angel Eyes is a Saxon bass. My Love Is by Diana Krall. Besame Mucho, Laura Figi. I'm going to butcher some of these, and I apologize. Hunting Wabbits. That one was especially fun because if you hadn't told me that it was called Hunting Wabbits, I would have told you, oh, this is for Elmer Fudd. Elmer Fudd. Well, Hunting Wabbits. By the Gordon Goodwin's Big Fat Band. Volver by Buika. And Lost Without You, Frey Writings. That was on the digital side. What I got was an overwhelming sense of precision. Come on, CH Precision. And everything that he played. You could hear the very intimate details very deep into the recordings. And I enjoyed it, but... And I told him this. His speakers are so flat that I'm used to a bit of a roll-off in the highs. I actually prefer a roll-off in the highs starting... I think I told him 12.5 and above, but usually even 10 and above. A little bit of a roll-off, maybe a dB and a half, and then by the time it gets to 20, which I can't hear that high anymore anyways, but I want it to start rolling off slightly. Otherwise, my ears start to fatigue. So having that roll off is nice. So when he was playing digital, it's flat. And while it sounded wonderful, I probably couldn't do more than a few hours. I was there for 2.5 hours, and it was a wonderful 2.5 hours. He shared some whiskey with me. I wouldn't be able to do more than that. After that, we switched to vinyl, which he has a very awesome vinyl setup. Again, it's going to be right here. It was the first time that I'd seen this -K platform, which was to prevent, from vibrations making it up to the turntable. I'm going to have to look into that. I don't know if my turntable's too on the light side. The Riga RP10 that I have, it's only like 14 pounds compared to the 104 pounds that his turntable is. So we'll see. Hopefully. If I can swing it, I'll have one in my system soon to review. So we switched to vinyl. And if he had started with vinyl, I would have never wanted to go back to digital or just try digital at all. The sound, instead of being so precise and, you're kind of forcing you to listen to the littlest details, it became warm and inviting, and now you could just close your eyes and die happy kind of music. I mean, it was wonderful. It was so much superior to digital that having a system like that makes me question even more the I don't want to say the value of digital, because I love streaming. Sometimes you just don't want to drop the needle, but it made me question even more why vinyl isn't more popular. I'm gonna know why it isn't, but you get what I'm saying. So the night ends. I the only reason I left is because I had work really early in the morning. I had a meeting to get to pretty early on. Um, but that's kind of the review of the system. Oh, one last thing. Soundstage. I did talk about the spaciousness. It felt like the room we were playing in a big hall. Um, Left to right was expansive. It felt like maybe 10 feet to the left, 10 feet to the right was huge. I told him the depth was the only thing that I wasn't too thrilled with. I felt like it was a little bit compressed compared to we went to go listen to the group went to go listen to some ATC's SCM 100 ASLs a week prior, a week and a half prior, and those had a much deeper soundstage. So the Stenheim, CH Precision, all of that, the depth of the soundstage wasn't as deep, and he admitted it. He said, he's still working with he had some diffusion panels behind, and in the front, just like me, he has a movie theater screen, so he's not able to really put anything there like he wanted. So that's something that he is still a little bit of a challenge, but something that he's working on. So again, in case Terry watches this video, yo man, next time I'm coming over, I'm bringing vinyl, and I'm gonna bring some good stuff. Digital was wonderful, but I could sit there for 10 hours with you and listen to vinyl. So, again, thank you, and everyone, I'll chat with you soon. See ya.